while we're working on our math, in conjunction with the math, what I'd like to do is go over the Walker's Building Estimators Reference Book. The Walker's Building Estimators Reference Book is, once again, it's an estimating book. So you're gonna be calculating how much it's gonna cost, how long it's gonna take, how much material it's gonna take, and so forth. There's a lot of other information aside from that, though, as well, especially in Chapter 1. And what I would like for you to do is follow along with me in Chapter 1 and highlight as we go along. There's lots of things in here that are going to be real important for you to know. If you've already been through the contractor's manual or the AIA documents, there's a lot of overlap here. And then there's even some contradicting information as well. But Chapter 1 in Walker's is very important. It's very important on the trade test, in the morning especially, and also in the afternoon. It's a very important book for you to understand. Chapter 1 is some general information about scheduling, about bonds, about borrowing money, and it's all real good information for us to know. So let's take a look here in Chapter 1. Sometimes I suggest to people, if you have the time, read Walker's Chapter 1 word for word. Take the time and read the whole thing. I would be real surprised if you didn't get a lot of questions out of Chapter 1 at some point in here in the near future. I want you to start on page 6. Let's go to page 6. There's a discussion of bidding for a contract. Construction contracts are usually awarded in one of two ways. You have competitive bidding or negotiation. At the end of that paragraph it says, this is the last sentence fragment in that paragraph. See if you can find it. Satisfied owners are probably the most valuable asset a contractor can have. Let's skip a paragraph and go to the last paragraph on page 6. Private work is sometimes announced in a newspaper, listed in trade publications, computers, newsletters, and so forth. A real estate agent and banker can often steer a contractor to jobs. Public work is almost always publicly advertised. Often to get on a bidding list, a contractor must be pre-qualified. There are various ways this is done, by organizations, governmental bodies, and banks, but in general, the information that must be submitted will follow that contained in the AIA A305. That's your contractor's qualification statement. All right. Let's go to the next page, to page 7.
Should we highlight that whole paragraph?
I would highlight that whole paragraph, absolutely. What's really, really key in that paragraph is the A305, the contractor's qualification statement, but the whole thing is definitely fair game. We're on page 7. We're going to go to the second, actually it's the third full paragraph. The paragraph begins, bid deposits may be required, the amount being either a lump sum or a percentage of the proposal. The bid bond guarantees that the bidding contractor, if awarded the contract, will enter into the contract and furnish a performance bond if required. Make sure that you read these word for word. If somebody asks you a question someday about something in this book, answer it word for word. All right? We may have to check our field experience at the door and pick it back up when we leave. We're going to answer these test questions word for word. All right. Find it in the book. Even if you think you know it, take some time, find the answer in the book, and you'll be happy. Let's go to page 12 and 13. Page 12 and 13 begins a discussion of all the different AIA documents. This is the American Institute of Architects. They, along with a bunch of lawyers, came up with a lot of different documents. These are standardized documents used in the construction industry. If you'll look on page 13, I want you to highlight a couple of them. Go down forward. Does that look familiar? The A305? Well, it should, because we just talked about it. The contractor's qualification statement. Also the bid bond, that's the A310, is the bid bond. So make sure you can find it. If you flip over the next couple of pages, you'll see there's a lot of AIA documents. Make sure that you can find them. That could very easily help you out, just knowing where to find them. On page 19, let's flip over to page 19. We're going to talk about mortgage loans. And sometimes this information is hard to pinpoint to you, so here's what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to count lines up from the bottom of the page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines up from the bottom of page 19. The sentence begins, once a loan is approved and accepted, there are certain charges called closing costs. And a part of these costs, known as points, origination fees, or the discount, cover the cost of setting up the loan. You're going to have to know what those terms mean if you see them in the future. Points, origination fees, or discount. Remember, a discount is not a good thing for you. That means the banker is discounting the money that you're receiving. All right.
Jack, is this something new? Because I know last class, I don't remember going over this, because I outlined everything.